let's talk about some of these wonderful people on Jubilee. And I don't know which one to start off with. I say we start off with, do we go with show the girl with mental illness? Is that the one?
Yes, sir.
Because she actually reacted as well. So
Did she?
She did. She afterwards reacted as well. We'll play the clip. I mean, she posted it up there, so you have to see it. Here's us at Jubilee. What people don't realize is, to my right here is Adam, Vinny, Rob, Tico, Brandon, and Humberto. Yeah. Every time one of these guys laughs or moves, they don't realize I see them. I see them.
Laughable.
Okay.
Sorry. Mateo also.
Mateo as well. Go ahead, Rob. Play the clip.
I'm also mentally ill, so that was something I had to deal with. But I'm mainly mentally ill because I am disabled in a capitalist country.
Tell me more about mentally ill. Who qualified you as somebody that's mentally ill?
Me and my doctor team.
Who convinced you that you're mentally ill?
Me and my doctor team.
What's the specific category of mental illness? Is there one? You know why I asked this question? Let me explain to you why I asked this question.
So I don't even like the psychological industry. I don't really stand for like Sigmund Freudian politics or anything like that. I don't have access to even a result or a solution to my disability as someone with a connective tissue disorder. It's genetic.
Have you been able to go to different doctors and get yourself tested?
Yeah.
You have?
Yes.
And in California?
Yes, but not enough. I can't find a specialist.
You can't find a specialist?
I can't find a specialist for who I am.
Is there anyone in your life that's willing to pay for a specialist?
Well, they could, or they would if they had money. But yeah.
Would you be okay if I pay for a specialist for you to go see?
Yeah.
Would you take money from a capitalist to help you go see a specialist?
I mean, yeah, sure, why not?
I'm going to have you go see two. Do you live in California?
Yeah.
I'm going to have you go see two specialists. But would you also be open to seeing somebody else I choose as a psychologist that may...
No.
The reaction
you
was
choose
so
as
quick.
a psychologist. You're choosing who gets to determine what my mental health looks like. No.
Okay, then I wish you nothing but the best. Okay, so here's a reaction. Let me show you a reaction.
So many things to say.
Here's a reaction.
Okay.
I was kind of scared of the Jubilee.
She looks better now.
And then I realized that the only people who are criticizing me are capitalists, so it makes it really easy to laugh at them. The only gotcha for me is that I'm disabled and mentally ill. Good one, guys. And I have a septum piercing.
She's definitely mentally ill. I'm going to go out there on a limb and say that she's actually mentally ill.
I agree with you.
I feel for her.
Yeah.
But it is kind of weird though that you're like as if you were going to find a psychologist that's going to be a different, like, no, I just want to find out what's the mentally ill, because I mean we're all kind of a little crazy, but
I'm doxing her parents. Sue me.
Yeah. Can I make one point?
Yeah.
If these kids are for communism, what makes them think they get to pick their own medical experts? Has anybody been to Canada? Not that it's communist. I'm just saying, like, socialized medicine, like, you don't pick your doctor. It's a disaster. You get who you get. I'm confused. Does she even understand what she's fighting for? She's not going to let you pick the expert. But in any socialized medicine, you are given what you're given, period.
Do you think she was like that at 10 years old? Do you think she was like that at 5 years old?
No.
Or do you think she became like that?
She became that.
So what causes her to become like that?
Oh, I think she's got a screwed up home life boss.
That's
And
100% society.
Yeah.
So the wrong parents.
And I feel terrible
her.
about that. But
breaks my heart when I'm sitting in the room. You know, all I'm thinking about, this is someone's kid.
Yep.
This could be one of my relatives' kids. I'm sitting in front of watching these guys. And of course, they don't even realize this is their job resume for the rest of their lives. You don't ever, this is 2025. It's done. If I'm sitting in front of that guy and one of my employees from HR comes up and shows a picture and says, hey, do we want to hire this guy? Here's what he said. You know what? This is a resume. Mm-hmm. It's permanent. It's not temporary. While she's saying, but to me, I don't think you become like that. Here's another one, by the way. This one, I offered her to renunciate her citizenship, and she wasn't too happy about it. Go ahead.
To be free, but that's why I'm anti-capitalist.
Well, maybe you are.
That is why I'm anti-capitalist, because capitalism removes that choice. There is no real incentive of capitalism because the incentive is survival. When you get into communism, the incentive is for the common good.
I love that. I got an offer for you before we move on. if I were to give you your $2,350, which is the cost to renunciate your citizenship, and I paid you your first class, flight to whatever communist country, and $20,000 to spend
Name me
money,
a communist country.
would you give up your citizenship to go to that country?
And
Whichever communist country you want to go to.
yeah,
Cuba, we can give you Venezuela,
country.
we give you North Korea, any one of those you want to go to.
Communist countries, not
Choose any one of them, I'll give you a one-way ticket, and I'll fund it for you if you want to.
That's it.
Well, even voted.
I like to be.
She couldn't name a communist country. Okay,
Oops.
so I'll give you the list. Go. That's so funny.
Oops. No, I look at this and look what happens when you try to take away their blankie. That girl that's mentally ill really, it's easy to laugh and point. But what was the first comment I make? It says, I'm doxing her damn parents and you can come sue me. Because that is a valuable person under there that somewhere along the way was enabled and believed that she's mentally ill, and now she has a persona represented by her makeup and the image she projects, and her condition is her blankie. That gives her the ability to be who she is. If you take that away, she has to be accountable in a world where you have to, support yourself and do things. And she will not give up that blankie. But she ended up with it because of the way her parents did. This person, Pat, very eloquently just says, "Okay, tell you what, I'll give you the fee. Take up your citizenship, and here's 20 grand when you get there, see how long that lasts, and here's a first class ticket, pick a country." And all of a sudden she stammers because now you're going to take away her blankie. She can't sit and just howl at the moon about capitalism sitting there right now. She would have to go to a communist country and howl at the moon about something. And then the police would come do a drum solo on her head, right? So it's like, she's not going to like how it works in real communist countries. Now go to City Hall and complain. They're like, what is up with you? Bah, 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 bah.
Here's my impression of what happened during Jubilee. You have someone named Patrick Bet-David who had a 1.8 GPA, father worked in a 99-cent store, came from Tehran, Iran, and yet still is optimistic about the future. Then you have all these kids who are born in California who are arguing in a pessimistic standpoint. And it just sounds like this. I believe in you. You can do this. Well, no. Life's not fair. No. I know life's not fair, but pull yourselves up. You can do this. Stop telling me what to think. Stop telling me what to feel. At some point, these people are lost. If you want to understand why California is broken, look no further. If you tried to put 20 people in a Jubilee type setting in Florida, my opinion is you couldn't get 20 of these people to show up. California has raised mentally ill, trans, anti-American communists, and they're just all over the place in California. You can get them at the snap of your finger. You couldn't do this.
Leave Newsom out of this.
The biggest takeaway I had from this, it's easy to find the mentally ill girl who, is clearly insane at some capacity. It's easy to find the trans person and that obviously they have some major issues. To me, the one that stood out, there was this tall, 6'4", good-looking white kid who played victim. It's like, how are you playing the victim, guy? You're a good-looking, tall, white kid in America. And at some point, not even this kid wouldn't take a job if his life depended on it. But they just have this overall victim mentality that is unshakable, no matter what you say. So you can try to help them, but they won't help themselves.
Julia.
Okay, well, I think you've got a convergence of two cultural problems. The first one is we are infantilizing citizens, period. Everybody is a victim. And I've seen this for a while, whether you're overweight, whether you're a person of color, whether you're a young person, everybody's a victim. And they love the narrative at first because you don't have to take any agency. But I absolutely think this is by design, and I have for a while, because when you make somebody a victim, you fundamentally disempower them to make a change. So you're incapacitating our citizens, right? At the same time, you do, and we have to give a little credit to this fact. It is harder for kids today. Inflation is insane. It's outpacing the amount that they're making. They can't afford a house. They can't afford to have kids. It seems like democracy can be bought. And it isn't just these kids who seem a little crazy on this Jubilee. There's a YouGov poll that we actually covered on Her Take, and I can't remember the percentage. I think it was like 20%, Rob, of young kids today are favorable towards communism, not democratic socialism. It was communism. So Why? You definitely have a system that is being exploited. I think that's happening. I think we have to acknowledge that and look to reform it, which kind of goes back to what I was saying. When we're fighting with each other, nobody's really paying attention to who's manipulating and pulling the strings. And I think those exact same people are infantilizing these kids on purpose. So they feel incapacitated and incapable of doing anything while simultaneously turning us all on each other.
Yeah, so imagine the part for me was, what are professors teaching in universities? Like, I almost want to find out who their favorite professor was and do a panel with them and talk to them and say, what are you doing? You know, what are you doing bashing these people with the dreams that they may have? Families are spending $200,000-$300,000 to send their kids to school to what? To get this?
Yeah.
To get this to happen to their brains, to be brainwashed like this? You know, we talked about this many years ago. I said, once my age hits 6, starts with a 6, we will consider building a school like no other. We're going to build a flipping school that we're going to develop some of the greatest leaders in the world. I am so tempted to start it earlier. I don't have the bandwidth. At 60 years old, we start talking about raising money, doing some real things, building something special to develop leaders. Because at the end of the day, you can hear stuff and you can bitch about it, but then what are you doing about it? How are we making it better? What are we involved in making it better? What is our role played in making it better? Are we doing anything good with this? Like for you, they're criticizing you with the Netflix special, right? When they're coming out talking about your body shaming or, you know, all this other stuff and the coffee. I don't even know half the stuff I'm reading about. What are they talking about, right? Here's a person that, how many years was your show on? What was the amount of years that the...
Gosh, it was on, I think, for 10 years. I participated, I believe, in 10 seasons.
10 seasons of The Biggest Loser. 10 out of 16 you
there
were
were
involved.
424 contestants. I think there were 7 that participated in this documentary, of which 4 of them I worked with. 2 of those people are doing amazing. One is Danny Cahill, who's not doing amazing. Gosh, I hate to tell you, how about the fact that I didn't even watch the whole thing? I watched like clips of it, so I can't even. Ryan Benson, sorry, who was from season 1. Now, with that said, there's a lot of lying going on. However, if we were to look at what really happened on that show, I have a 35% success rate with the people that I worked with. That's unprecedented. It's 5% of people that lose a large or significant amount of weight keep it off. 95% put it back on. And of course, they left out the vast majority of the people who I just referenced that did amazing, because that kind of news doesn't sell. It's not profitable. People like a scandal. But the people that I forced to take responsibility, those are the ones that kept it off.
But you're an easier target, though. It's easier to blame you. It's your fault, though. It's easier to blame, a different person to be the enemy. You're saying 95% of people gained the weight back and 5% are the ones that kept it off.
In life. On the show, 35% of the people that I worked with kept it off, which is why I'm saying it was actually hugely successful.
You know who is one of the best guys that we spoke to about this was Ethan Suplee. You ever spoken to Ethan Suplee? You know who he is?
No.
Ethan Suplee was the actor. The moment he pulls it up, you know who he is.
Recognize him.
This is Ethan Suplee. Ethan Suplee was in
Titans?
Remember the Titans?
Yeah.
He lost, I don't even know how much weight he lost. He says 250 pounds, but he says in his lifetime, he's lost over 1,000 pounds. Because he would lose it, he would gain it. He would lose it, he would gain it. And he broke it down in a very serious, straight up way that, look, this is not easy for me to do, but it's my responsibility and I got to do something about it. But look, at the end of the day, it's always easier to target someone who is pushing the message of responsibility. Because that's an annoying message. Because responsibility goes to who? It's my fault. Who wants that? Nobody wants that, Tom. Tom wants to be able to say it's my fault. And I want to be able to say it's Tom's fault.
Yeah.
And it's like one
Blame
of those
games.
things. That's
I
right.
always say it's Tom's
Guys,
fault.
No, it's
you
Tom's
can blame
fault,
it all
though.
on me. It's fine. It's always me.
But it's easy. It's easy.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
It's
I
not
wanna-
your
can I-
fault.
can I
It's
add
what
one thing?
they have put around you and what they've done to
Who's
you.
they?
Don't you feel better now?
That was the
Don't you
biggest
feel
thing, though.
better?
That was the biggest thing with Jubilee, though. It was the fact that it's all victimhood, victimhood. Why do you
All
see
is
yourself
the key,
as a victim?
though, boss?
Yeah.
Because there is a kernel of that. So, for example, with Biggest Loser,
Yeah.
if I were to give you an example of a contestant that I had worked with, This girl was pulled away from her mother, put into foster care. Her mother would turn tricks for heroin while she was locked in a closet. She was sexually abused. She was a victim. There is no question. And the food was her defense mechanism. It's how she desexualized. It's how she found comfort. It's how she found control. But here's the thing. In order for her to change, you have to say, I get it. All of these horrible things happen to you, and this has to be worked through, and I'm empathetic to that fact. But the defense mechanism that you have chosen is now killing you. And that's the part that you are perpetuating. That's the part that you are responsible for. And therefore, you need to make a different choice. This is where you have to take ownership of how you continue onward and how you respond to the times that you were victimized. Do you perpetuate it? Are you remaining 100% victim all the time? Or do you take back control, take agency, and make a change? Nobody wants to do that anymore.
And it's not universal. I'll say that there are some people that have a hard time breaking out, that just like women that are trapped in abusive relationships and they don't have a friend, they don't have an enabler to kind of help them escape that. And then what do I do now? Okay, I went to the courthouse, I turned them in, I got 2 kids. What's my next step? They need help from churches, from friends, or things like that to enable to get out. You talked about something where you said there was this victory that one of the contestants had, and he looked like he was having a moment, but then you looked at the mom, and the mom. Can you? I don't want to recount that.
So this is a young kid. He was 18 years old, and he showed up with his dad to the show, and they both did fantastic, right? So we're about 8 weeks in, and we're coming into the holidays. They're still on the show. Nobody's been eliminated, and they've lost roughly 100 pounds each. Now, the contestants would go home for the holidays. They wouldn't, as mentioned, they're not eliminated, and they would come back to the ranch. So we would just position it on the show because it might air in April as like, oh, let's see how you do at home. So this kid comes back. Everybody's weighing in, and this one lost 6 pounds, and that one lost 5. And the dad, this gentleman named Ken, loses nothing. I'm like, that's odd. Okay. The kid gets on the scale, and I think he gains like 6 or 7 pounds. And immediately the contestants start co-signing each other's bullshit. Oh my God, it's so hard while you travel, and the food at the airport isn't healthy. Obviously, that's not what's going on. So I sit down with this kid the next day, and I'm like, all right, Austin, just walk me through it from the moment you left here to the moment you got back. And we did the whole no food at the airport. I tried to get my steps in, blah, blah. The kid arrives at home. The door flies open. All the friends and family are there. And there's mom. And mom starts sobbing. And it is not tears of joy because mom is morbidly obese herself. And upon seeing her now much thinner husband and much thinner son, they broke the contract. And she feels abandoned. She feels like they're going to leave her behind. She emotionally withdraws from her son. So what does the food mean to him? It means an emotional connection to his mother. And when he gives it up, what does it represent? A primal abandonment.
Breaking community.
So why do people put the weight back on? Because they're not prepared to give up what the food afforded them. Is Austin a victim of that circumstance? Absolutely. But at some point, you've got to empower him and give him the tools, right, to make these changes if there's any hope for him.
I think you're being so empathetic and fair about it, right? That there is a side of it that maybe if I'm, the mother is doing heroin and selling tricks, and it's like maybe if I get fat, men won't be attracted to me. That they won't. I can see some of those stories, and those are noble stories. Would I put that in the 90% of stories? No. Would I put that in the 5% stories? I would. I think a lot of times, Jillian, people want an out because the out gives them freedom. When building a business in the last 25 years, when I ran an insurance company, it was so easy for people to quit, to create a video and trash us because this is hard.
Yeah.
It was easy to use God as an excuse and say, well, I'm just, God is more important to me than you, and I can't give up Bible study and this and this and that. I'm like, okay, that's the lamest excuse. They would hide behind their wife. They would hide behind their husbands. They would hide behind their kids. Anything to not work. Anything to avoid doing the actual work and making it like it was somebody else's fault. That out is liberating. The out is liberating. Why I wasn't able to succeed. But you don't understand. I'm mentally ill because the capitalism system. Who convinced you of that? You know, when you hear stories like that. Adam, last thing, and then we're going to wrap up.
I'll just say one thing. The victimhood mentality is so unattractive. If you were born in America, you've won the golden ticket of life. I'm sorry. How many people are trying to come into America
dying
versus trying to go into all these countries around the world, dying to get here? You know, we talk about all this privilege. It's white privilege, and there's economic privilege, and there's gender privilege, patriarchy, all that. What about country privilege? You are so freaking privileged to live in this country called America with the stars and stripes. And if you wake up every day and all you think about it is America's bad, 200 years ago there were slaves, oh my God. Every country did this. Every type of people did this. So you wake up every day and your glass is either half full and you're optimistic, or you're going to play the blame game and your life will dictate exactly how your mentality is. And it's not fair.
If you support CNN and what they stand for, buy their gear, represent it. If you support what Nike stands for, buy their gear, support it. If you support any media company, any podcast, whatever they stand for, comedians, whether it's Kill Tony, whether it's Schultz, whether it's Rogan, whether it's anybody you support, their values represent their gear. If you watch our show and you believe that the future looks bright, I encourage you to support it. This allows us to hire more people. This allows us to grow our business. This allows the brand to get out there. This allows other people to be confused when you go into work with a gym and you got a future looks bright, and people are like, wait a minute, what, you really believe the future looks bright? You really believe that? Like, don't you think this should be communistic? No, man, I really believe the future looks bright. Seriously, yeah, you're a little weird. I am. And you're negative. And you're pessimistic, and I'm not. So if you're optimistic and you believe the future looks bright, go represent. That green combo is my favorite. That future looks bright shirt and hat combo, my favorite. It looks absolutely sick when you have it right in front of you as well. And by the way, at the Vault Conference, for the first time in the history of hats, we're launching the first gold hat ever. The hat has got the future looks bright, gold, and the logo on the side is gold. You get a certificate of authenticity, but it's only at the people that are going to be at the Vault. It's only 15 of them.
Real gold.
Real gold.
That looks ridiculous.
It literally looks ridiculous. But anyways, if you believe the future looks bright, go to vtmerch.com, place an order. I believe the first 100 people that place an order get a mug or a keychain or some trinkets being sent to you as well. That's the mug that you get, the first 100 to go place the order. So go place your order at vtmerch.com. We'll get that stuff over to you guys. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.